pawn takes pawn, very interesting move. Pawn takes pawn, and now an important moment. How to neutralize the position? Maybe king h7 is one idea. And put your king there. But Gukesh now thinks for quite serious one. He had 1 hour 15 minutes and he has made this move knight e7 here. And the point is he's giving up a pawn in the center. This is very important. Caruana says thank you. But Gukesh has basically understood that in order for him to be doing well here, he needs to give up some material. And now takes on f5. So if you notice, Gukesh has given up a pawn, but now the position has kind of freed up, which means that there's no longer a kingside attack. So it's a pawn sacrifice, you can say, for defensive reasons. By the way, this is a pin here, so the knight cannot move. So bishop has to come out to f4. Yes, now the bishop comes out, and I think what Gukesh's ideal scenario is to exchange all the pawns on the queen side, and then on the king side he will have to play 4 versus 3, which is fine. I mean, those doubled pawns, I don't think you can win in any endgame with that structure. Knight comes to c6, forking the queen and the bishop. And Gukesh plays his queen to d7, attacking the knight. And now maybe just take the bishop, because that's attacked. You can also interpose with rook takes rook. Yeah, he first takes the rook, and Gukesh can pick up with this. If he picks up with his knight, then maybe queen e4 is a very strong move. So taking with the rook makes a lot of sense. So he takes back with the rook here. And now Caruana chops off the bishop on a7. The knight is trapped for the time being. If you see here, cannot come out. So Gukesh can take it on this move, but he can also wait for a bit. He takes on b4 here. He takes the pawn. Pawn takes, and now this queen here, if you see, can take the knight once again. But also the rook is hanging, the bishop is hanging, and so the queen enters, and look at this queen attacking here, here, and here. Wow, it's a triple attack. And Caruana goes queen c1 with a double defense. So he must now, Gukesh must take the piece, or else he'll just be lost. So he takes it. And if you notice, the number of pawns are right now equal, but Caruana takes the pawn on a4 and he's still a pawn up. Gukesh's last task here to get closer to a draw is to trade his a6 pawn for Caruana's b4 pawn. How feasible is that? He goes queen to b7, attacking the pawn on b4, and Fabi plays queen to d2, defending the pawn. It's not going to be so trivial with Caruana, a player like Caruana, who is very well known for his grinding, for sort of all phases of the game. He will make it as difficult as possible for Gukesh to equalize. For now, the bishop goes to g3. Notice you would love to get your rook here and attack this pawn, but the bishop covers that square. So for now, f6 played by Gukesh, a committal move, but I think he's happy with it. Caruana puts his bishop on d6. But now the knight has to be careful. You have to be careful about the knight. Queen c6 played. And maybe bishop goes to c5. That seems like the very likely move here. He goes rook a5. Ooh. I was wondering what happens to bishop c5. Well, the rook is hanging. That's what I have missed. So clearly rook a5 was Caruana's way. Take. And now Caruana can take with the rook, can take with the queen. He decides to take with the rook. Keep more pieces on the board. Keep pushing for that full point. check comes in and you have to take. You can see Gukesh trading the rooks, very smart. Queen takes d5, and now we are in the queen endgame.